One of the purest displays of real-time persuasion in Game of Thrones isn't a trial or a political debate. It's Tyrion waking up in the mountains of the Vale, surrounded by a tribe of warriors who fully intend on murdering him. Within minutes, just minutes, he flips them. He doesn't just save his own life and Bronn's, he walks away with them as allies. This isn't luck. This is sales. A masterclass in reframing power, identifying mutual interests, and turning a threat into a profitable partnership.
I like living.
Welcome to Everything is Sales. In this video, we will review how Tyrion, starting with nothing but a ring and his wits, reframed this situation 3 times, taking him from murder victim to business partner. For most people, this would be considered a no-win situation. Tyrion wakes up with a knife at his throat. I mean, not literally, but he is approached by a number of very murderous warriors with only Bronn to protect him. He's outnumbered, he's unarmed, and physically outmatched. He is exactly 0 leverage. The hill tribes of the Vale are unpredictable. They're violent and perfectly willing to kill him for sport, let alone for the valuables that he carries. This is what in sales we call an absolute cold start. No trust, no relationship, no reason for the other side to listen. Most people in this situation panic. Tyrion? He sees an opening. Tyrion is awakened by Bronn, and he understands the threat right away. His first move here is actually pretty smart. Instead of responding with fear, hostility, or trying to negotiate, he reacts as if he's greeting old friends.
Come, share our fire. Help yourselves to our goat.
But of course, he is met with the hostility and threats of death from the clan leader, who introduces himself as Shagga. Most people would fold in this situation, but Tyrion takes this opportunity to introduce himself as an equal. Shagga, of course unmoved by this introduction, asks Tyrion how he'd like to die. Tyrion looks at his would-be killers and delivers a line filled with humor, painting a rather crude but otherwise delightful picture where he'd like to die at the age of 80 in the throes of passion. This is intentional. He refuses to accept their frame. Shagga is asking how he'd like to die right now. Instead, Tyrion imposes a new frame. We're having a conversation. The lesson here is to match fear with confidence, not defensiveness. Shift the frame from threat to dialogue. It's fortunate that Shagga laughs at this subversion, which disarms the tension a bit, leading the tribesmen to change their mind. Instead of murder, Shagga now wants Tyrion to be an entertainer, but still wants to kill Bronn, and this is not really a great outcome for Tyrion. Tyrion once again interrupts with a new frame. His house is rich and powerful. So powerful, he critiques them as if he's looking down at them. He points out the poor condition of their weapons. He highlights how their enemies, the Knights of the Vale, drive them into the mountains. He speaks to them not like a hostage, but like a consultant diagnosing their business problem. This is genius. He shows that he understands their world, maybe even better than they do. And people are willing to follow those who articulate their struggles with clarity. If you can describe someone's problem better than they can, they will trust you to solve it. Now let's remember, this is a cold start. There is no trust. Shagga responds to Tyrion's claim with the jab of his axe, a physical gesture indicating that he doesn't really trust what Tyrion is saying. And even though the actions were enough, Shagga verbally shares his objection with words. Do you think you can win us over with trinkets? Now, Tyrion is confident he diagnosed their problem, so instead of telling them, he shows them. He gives them his very valuable ring and says it's worth more than everything their tribe owns. This single move communicates 3 things simultaneously. I have wealth, I'm not afraid to give it to you, and there's more where that came from. He changes the perception of his value instantly. He's no longer a man to be killed, he's a man worth more alive than dead. The lesson here is that credibility isn't claimed, it's demonstrated. If you just have one concrete action, it's going to beat a dozen claims. Now, with this gesture, we're almost out of the woods here, so to speak. But to bring a strong close to this conversation, he offers more than trinkets or wealth or weapons. Tyrion reveals that the Lords of the Vale want him dead. And who are Shagga and his clan's greatest oppressors? The Lords of the Vale. He reframes the entire situation with this statement. You think I'm your enemy, but your real enemy is my enemy too. And suddenly, killing Tyrion isn't profitable. Partnering with him is. He offers them weapons, gold, and glory, but more than that, he offers them the possibility of a life they've always wanted, but never thought possible. The knife that was at his throat becomes an open door. The sales lesson here is that the strongest partnerships form around shared enemies or shared goals. Align incentives and resistance collapses. So what can we learn about this and apply to our own lives? Well, Tyrion shows us that persuasion isn't about power. It's about clarity, framing, and incentive alignment. Here's what we can take for our own lives. Stay calm in high-pressure moments. Confidence can change the entire situation. Shift the frame towards conversation. Fear shrinks options. Things like humor open them up. Diagnose their problem better than they can. Understanding creates possibility. Demonstrate value visibly and quickly. Don't just talk about your worth, show it. Find a mutual enemy or a mutual benefit. If you can find alignment, you've just found a partner. Tyrion didn't survive that scene by accident. He sold his worth, he demonstrated his value, and the benefits of an alliance. And that's why, in Game of Thrones, as in life, everything is sales.